Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be with you today to share more about the Guinness supply chain footprint and how we're optimising this for continued growth. I lead our global supply chain and procurement organisation, and I also serve as Diageo's Chief Sustainability Officer. Now, I've been with Diageo for over 25 years, living and working across Europe, Latin America, Asia, and North America. Truly a global journey with an extraordinary company. Today, I'll provide context behind the significant expansion and performance improvement that you've seen during your site visit, which hopefully most of you here were able to enjoy earlier this morning. And to those of you online, I would encourage you to visit St James's Gate next time you are in Dublin. Let me start by taking you through what I'm going to cover today. We are immensely proud of the efficient and resilient supply chain that is powering Guinness's success. Not only is our supply chain well invested in, but importantly, it's well positioned for future growth. Furthermore, sustainability is embedded in everything we do, and we're seeing the positive impact of this both today and in future risk mitigation, something critical for the business as we look to at least maintain margins over time. But first, let me start with quality, a long-defining hallmark of Guinness. Our very first newspaper advertisement in the 1920s cited quality as the driving force behind the growth of the Guinness brewery. It's a principle that continues to guide us today. As Gráinne highlighted, our commitment to quality extends well beyond the gates of the brewery, although my focus and presentation will take you through grain to gate. We apply the same rigorous standards across every stage of production, with 284 quality checks on every batch of Guinness before it leaves the brewery and 23 taste tests on every brew. I also personally receive monthly updates tracking our League of Excellence, ensuring we remain aligned with the high quality standards that we have set for our brands. This focus on quality is crucial as we collaborate with partners worldwide, as you heard from Alan, all of whom are held to the same quality standards that define Guinness and that we apply internally across our own production. One of Guinness's key competitive advantages and a powerful differentiator for consumers is that every pint of Guinness originates from right here in St James's Gate in Dublin. But it's more than just a compelling brand story. It's also a cornerstone of our quality assurance and our operational efficiency. To briefly lay out our highly efficient supply chain model, brewing is centralised at St James's Gate, where we bring together the finest Irish ingredients to create the unique liquid that is Guinness. For our export and Irish markets, we mainly keg here in Dublin, and packaging is then handled at our facilities in Belfast and Runcorn. This integrated setup streamlines the operations, enhances agility, and ensures a highly efficient and responsive supply chain. Our physical footprint is strategically optimized for logistics. Dublin, Belfast, and Runcorn are all located near major shipping ports and in close proximity to key suppliers, many of whom are local. This minimizes transportation costs, supports sustainability, and helps preserve the authenticity of our product. From here, as Alan talked to, Guinness goes either directly to customers and distributors or is brewed through trusted third-party partnerships, often partners we have worked with for many, many years. This partner brewing model uses Guinness flavour extract from right here at St James's Gate. And utilisation at St James's Gate has steadily increased over the years, driven by growing consumer demand for Guinness, with capacity utilisation well over 90%. We continue to operate with high efficiency, maximising our resources whilst maintaining the flexibility to be agile and respond to peak periods and unexpected surges in orders. As we near full utilisation here at St James's Gate, we are investing to expand our brewing capacity, and I'll walk you through the details of that expansion shortly. At Diageo, we are committed to delivering industry-leading performance. This focus fuels continuous innovation and improvement, ensuring we are as productive and efficient as possible. This has been particularly important given the inflationary environment of the past 5 years. Like many consumer companies in the consumer goods sector, we faced significant cost pressures in the years following COVID, with Guinness no exception to this. Since pre-COVID back to F19, our cost of goods rose at peak by over 40%, with significant increases in key inputs such as grain, energy, and packaging, as these external benchmarks show. To give some example of magnitude, combined, barley, energy, and aluminium are around 40% of cost of goods sold for Guinness. And with the significant uplift you see on this slide, clearly this has been a strong headwind for us. In response, we are continually taking decisive steps to optimize our operations and protect our margins. We have implemented robust commodity price risk management programs. This includes shifting spending strongly towards derivatives, buying to increase our flexibility to hedge forward. We have also worked to improve our hedging systems and tools, including implementing electronic trading, as well as longer horizons to manage future risk. Beyond commodity risk management, we have streamlined production processes and accelerated efficiency initiatives. Brewing remains centralised at St James's Gate, whilst canning and bottling have been consolidated at our Belfast and Runcorn facilities. This operational structure has enabled a high utilisation, low overhead model that maximises production capacity. Combined, these actions not only reduce waste, but improve performance across the board, enabling us to broadly maintain Guinness gross margins at pre-COVID levels. Importantly, efficiency is not a one-off initiative. It's a core part of our culture, and it's ongoing. We continually seek ways to optimize capacity, minimize waste, and control costs. This productivity-first mindset is deeply embedded in everything that we do. This approach and focus on manufacturing excellence has been key as we have worked hard to really sweat and care for our production assets on Guinness. As Deborah talked to earlier, we have delivered 8 consecutive halves of double-digit growth on Guinness. And given this high growth, we have had to increase our capacity in Guinness production to meet the demand. We first actioned a series of smaller investments to both increase capacity and maximise efficiency here at St James's Gate in the last 3 years. These investments included work to optimise our brewing streams and scale up our capacity on our stout filters and storage vessels, all key parts of the Guinness brewing process. Collectively, these investments have been around €25 million, and in combination with our highly skilled brewers and operational teams, they have allowed us to increase capacity at St James's Gate by around 8% over the last 3 years. We've also directed significant productivity efforts and capital investment toward our canning and bottling sites, including the consolidation of all of our bottling operations into our Runcorn facility, optimizing our warehousing network, and introducing automated smart warehousing. These collectively increased capacity by just over 25% at Belfast and Runcorn at an efficient cost of around £40 million. As you will know, customer demand for Guinness surged dramatically in the autumn last year, and while we had planned for future growth, the sheer level of this put incremental pressure on our supply chain, and we have had to be agile to meet the unprecedented Guinness demand. We flexed to our priority markets and optimised output during our continuous 24/7 operations. We keep a clear view of stock days forward cover in each market, which allows us to allocate stock appropriately, and we'll continue to be agile to meet demand going forward. As you just saw, we have very deliberately invested to increase capacity alongside efficiency measures, and we have also made some larger investments over the last few years to expand production capacity at scale. Specifically, we have replaced our outdated keg filling plant at St James's Gate, completed expansion of our canning lines, and are now midway through scaling Guinness 0.0 to capture the rise demand for alcohol-free Guinness. The quality of Guinness 0.0 is exceptional. It's made by producing Guinness to our high production standards, then removing the alcohol. And as you have heard from my colleagues, it's a significant growth opportunity for Diageo. We have also invested in an entirely new location to manage future capacity. An important component of our future growth is Littleconnell, our new 2 million hectolitre brewery in Ireland, which will increase brewing capacity by 25% and also has further potential for expansion on that site. As Littleconnell ramps up production, it will take on brewing for our other beers, allowing St James's Gate to focus solely on brewing Guinness. This will be a critical enabler for the next chapter of Guinness's growth. Littleconnell will be a state-of-the-art facility featuring advanced water treatment and recovery technology, minimising water usage in production. We expect it to be completed by summer next year. We are well placed for future growth, and looking ahead, we remain committed to investing to meet the future growth of Guinness. Littleconnell is a prime example of how we combine high performance with environmental responsibility. The facility will lead in energy efficiency and water conservation, utilising technologies such as renewable heating plant, heat pumps, biogas boilers, and water recovery systems. But our approach to sustainability is broader than that. Our regenerative agriculture farming practices, collaborating with Irish farmers, are tailored to the local and specific needs of Irish barley production. And across our pilot project, we have tripled the cover crop seed that has been planted. By 2030, our aim is to use 30% less water per pint we brew and 40% less in water-stressed areas by using the best possible solutions to increase water circularity. Since fiscal 19, we've already reduced our carbon emissions by over 20% at Guinness. This is a meaningful achievement and one that reflects the strategic investments we've made across our operations. At St James's Gate, we are working to accelerate to net zero carbon emissions for the site and transforming energy and water consumption with the aim to make it one of the most efficient breweries in the world by 2030. Our water consumption here at St James's Gate has reduced by more than 50%, and there is more we can still do. We announced earlier this fiscal year planned investments of over €100 million to move to net zero carbon emissions by 2030. Our carbon efforts also extend further. Shipping kegs has a relatively low carbon impact, given we're able to reuse kegs over and over again. We've also introduced zero-emission vehicles for our tankers and local delivery to the hospitality trade here in Dublin. And outside Ireland, in markets where Guinness is distributed mainly in glass bottles, we're working to increase how often those glass bottles are reused, impacting both the environment, but also providing a significant cash benefit to Diageo. At Guinness, we're not just running a highly efficient business, we're doing it responsibly, and our sustainability efforts are not only real and measurable, but also fully aligned with long-term value creation. I drive our teams with a sustainability call to action on cost, cash, and carbon every day. In closing, we're proud of the efficient, resilient supply chain that is powering Guinness's success. Our investments today and in the future are bold, strategic, and designed to fuel sustainable growth and returns. And given investment today, we are well placed for future growth. Additionally, sustainability is embedded in everything we do, and we're seeing the positive impact of this both today and in future risk mitigation, including across areas such as changing regulation on responsible packaging.